Welcome to another Q&A session for the best club in history, Real Madrid, hosted by Gael Manny. This is a Madridismo.org production.
Hi everyone. Tomorrow's match is very important, whether you're sick of Clásicos or looking forward to them, because aside from being our opportunity to redeem ourselves against Barca, it's still our opportunity to take a good start in moving forward in Copa del Rey. So I think it's important because we're the reigning champs, so it's all the more important. And that's why we decided to have what we can call the Copa Clásico pregame show, which is basically a pregame Q&A, but Clásico version. And to discuss that today, we have two super great Madridistas, Karan and Aaron, who are also part of the Madridismo.org team. Hi, guys.
Hey there, great to be here.
Thanks for joining. So I'm going to start with the most controversial question, I think, because I've had some comments on the site about that, because it involves a player who rarely leaves people indifferent. That's Cristiano. I want to know if, based on his recent performances, you think he should start or he should be benched. Karan, you want to go first?
Yep, cool. I think Cristiano is our main guy. You know, whether or not he turns up in his full demolition mode, you can't discount him in any sort of way. You know, his average game might be as bad as a good game for one of the other squad members, but you just can't bench that guy. I mean, even against the game against Mallorca, he must not have had the best of games, but did you see that strike? Oh my God.
Yeah, but it was one in so many.
Yeah, but you just can't discount that guy. He has to play each and every game, and I'm never going to bench him.
All right. Aaron?
Well, I think it's just one of those questions that's, absolutely absurd. Like, it's not even a possibility, It's like, well, do you want to blow up the moon? Do you want to turn all the world's water pink? It can't happen. You can't bench Cristiano Ronaldo at Madrid. It's never going to happen. I think I really agree with Karan in that even when he's having a poor game, he still has the ability to make a difference. If you take a look at a player like Gonzalo Higuain, he does the same sort of thing where he will be absent for an entire match for 88 minutes, and then he'll pop up for 1 minute and score a goal, like we saw over the weekend. Ronaldo is capable of that same thing. Remember the Copa del Rey that he won us was through a dominant header in a game that he wasn't really having a dominant performance in. So he's not quite the poacher that Higuain is, but he has that ability to change a game in a moment, and I think it's impossible to leave a player like that off.
Okay, so when you say it's impossible, you mean that you would disagree if it happened. You don't mean like because Mourinho would never do that. Your point of view is he shouldn't be benched.
I mean, it's both. It's impossible. It defies physics. But it also isn't particularly smart, in my opinion. I don't think there's anyone that we can replace him with that would be able to step into his shoes.
Okay. Well, you see, I have a different point of view, but as you know, I'm no expert at all. But it's not because of what he does or doesn't do. It's just that I have a feeling that sometimes because he has the ball, somebody else doesn't, and that somebody else would do something. I know, Aaron, you don't like the what ifs, but it's like, okay, like he takes so many free kicks and he misses almost all of them. What if he gave them to Xavi, And we've seen that in the last game where Xavi actually took a lot of them, and it resulted in 2 headers by Sergio, and one was a goal that was cancelled, and the other one was hit the post. So that was really good. You see what I mean? This type of things where I'm thinking, somebody else might have an opportunity and do something better with the ball, but I don't know.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But you're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo changing a small part of his game versus taking him off the pitch entirely.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
Because, like, I
I,
absolutely agree. He needs to pay attention to the fact that his mere presence on the field against most teams means he's going to leave one of his teammates in an opportune position. You know, when he's pulling double teams, when he's getting three players to come over and pressure him, that's leaving more space for other players that he doesn't always take advantage of because he's so keen on trying to pull himself up out of the rut. Which, I mean, if he had scored that shot, I think a lot of his problems would have disappeared. But he's the kind of player that will get into a rut, and because he's so used to being so good, he just wants to be able to do it himself, and he wants to just, you know, lift himself up out of that gutter, and it hasn't been working for him.
Yeah. Karan?
yeah, I agree with him completely. You can't, the way he plays, it's every opposite team is going to concentrate on him, leaving a lot of chances open for the other team members from our team. So you just can't discount Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay. All right. So I think that's it. That's the topic that's discussed, and you both agree. So that's fine. The second topic I would like to discuss is the defense. We've seen against Mallorca the three defender thing that Mourinho used, and since then, and because it's been known to work pretty well against Barca in the past, there've been rumors or I don't know, comments about whether Mourinho would use that this time around also or not. So I would like to know if you're in favor of that and if it depends on Pepe being fit or not. Aaron, maybe you want to go first on this one?
I think when I was first thinking about this question, because I've been thinking about this for a couple days now, ever since I heard that Pepe might not be able to play in the match. I thought, there's no way if Pepe's not fit that we can play a three-man back. But then, I thought about it for an extra couple of minutes, and I wouldn't even want Pepe in the three-man back. I'd want Albiol, Ramos, and Varane. I mean,
Okay.
is that how you say it's his name? I'm sorry, it's Varane, right?
Varane, yes.
Varane, yeah, Varane. Varane.
It's fine,
So,
it's fine.
at least I caught myself there.
Exactly.
But so I think that is our ideal three-man back if we have a three center back pairing. So even if Pepe's not available, which would be a tragedy because I think he would be able to play that sort of shielding defensive midfielder position better than anyone else. And we've seen in the past when he's done that, he's been able to almost single-handedly shut down a lot of Barcelona's offense. But even if he's not capable of playing that position, I still think we can do the three-man back, and I would like to see it. I think it would be interesting, if nothing else.
Okay. Karan?
I would not exactly agree on that because I think we aren't really well experienced with a three-man back. We generally played with a four-man, defense, and Barcelona's game has been very horizontal with more build-up plays, and we need to have a strong midfield, obviously complementing the whether it's three back or four back. But I wouldn't really risk playing three men in defense against somebody as strong in attacking as against Barcelona. And as far as Pepe is concerned, I mean, he's had a
Sorry about that, my
It's okay.
dogs.
Your
so
dog is disagreeing with Karan. That's why he's saying that.
Precisely.
okay, so it's 2 against 1. Huh? So I think Pepe. I mean, obviously he was brilliant in the center of the pitch like last year, but I don't know if he'll be able to have the same game this time around because our squad is currently very thin, and I'm not too sure how well Albiol will do at back. So I'm really dicey about a three-man defense still.
Okay. All
Well,
right. Wait, go ahead.
In response to that, I have to say that we can't play in one of our familiar formations against Barcelona because our familiar formations are basically top loaded. There's way too much emphasis on attack in our typical formation, so we're gonna have to do something different. So I like I said, it would be
I agree.
interesting to me to see a
We
three-man
need
back. I don't know that it would be ideal. I think it has a shot at really producing some excellent results, but I think there's going to have to be some sort of change. So saying that that you're afraid because we're unfamiliar with three-man back is kind of not saying much at all.
I would say that, I mean, obviously we'll have to employ a different formation from what we generally have, and but that means that we're having to load four in the midfield and four at the back. I wouldn't want to play three at the back because it's just too risky against somebody with such a brilliant offensive power as Barcelona. That's what I feel.
Fair enough.
Okay, well, maybe then we can go straight to the formation question since we started discussing that. First of all, I would like to ask you, taking into account that Di Maria will not be able to play, would you rather play Özil, Kaká, or both? And then the same question with Benzema, Higuaín, or both. Karan, first, you want to go?
Okay, I would love to play all of them, but we can't really have 12 or 13 men on the pitch. So, I wouldn't really want to start off with Kaká. He hasn't really impressed me as a starter. As a impact sub, he's been brilliant, but Ozil has been consistently showing a better work rate, even with helping in the defense, and Kaká doesn't really do that. So I'd rather start off with Ozil and seeing, depending on how the game goes, we could probably bring on Kaká for Ozil or keep them both on the pitch. The same goes with both Benzema and Higuain. They both bring a very different dimension to our game, and they both are special in their own way, but I really have my doubts that they both can start in a game against Barcelona. So, because we already have one up ahead, in Ronaldo. So we can't have Benzema, Higuain, and Ronaldo. So I think it's going to be Ozil and Benzema for me.
All right. Aaron?
It's absolutely tragic that Di Maria won't be available. I'm not his biggest fan in the world, but I think Barcelona is one of those teams that we really benefit from having an option like him available. I don't think you can start Kaká in this match. I know he has a phenomenal resume or CV. He has a great pedigree, but he hasn't really been able to produce results for Madrid for a while now. When he first got here, he was reasonably impressive, not quite up to his lofty standards, but he hasn't been able to show anything really of value. So it seems really silly to put him in one of the biggest games of the season. Granted, it's Copa del Rey, so there's that counterbalancing the fact that it's against Barcelona, but still, I can't see him starting this match. Well, I could see Mourinho playing him. I wouldn't want him to start this match.
Okay.
But Mourinho doesn't always listen to my phone calls, so we'll see.
Yeah, he's pretty stubborn.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and about Benzema, Higuaín?
I think they can play together. I think that they can play together. I think it's about finding the right kind of personnel that's going to run up and down the pitch for you. And I think Benzema is going to do that more than Higuaín is going to do that, because Benzema is capable of link-up play a little bit better than Higuaín is. Higuaín, as I previously mentioned, is sort of the predatory striker, in kind of the Ruud van Nistelrooy sort of vein. So his strongest attribute is his positioning. So he needs to be up top to really work that. Whereas Benzema, his strongest ability is to link up play, to use his fantastic technical ability to, provide touches on the ball wherever he's found on the pitch. So him coming back and pressuring in defense is a little bit easier for him to play his kind of game. So I think against a team like Barcelona, Benzema is the better choice. also, if you look back at our last match against Barcelona, he was by far the calmest man on the ball, at least in the attacking half of the field, which is absolutely vital against Barcelona. I was speaking to some of my friends that support the enemy, and they were saying that the only man they were truly afraid of was Benzema, just because of how cool, calm, collected he was at all times. So I think if you had to pick between Higuain and Benzema, it's Benzema hands down, but I think both of them could play, depending on what Mourinho wants to do.
Okay. All right. So I see that you also have friends on the dark side. Do you too, Karan? Sorry.
Oh yeah, a lot of them.
Oh my, that's the worst. Because
Yeah.
then, they see and they say, hey, by the way, 3-1. And I'm like, yeah, okay, shut up. So, all right. So, what formation? Maybe there's a difference between what you expect and what you would like to see, as we've started discussing before. So, but could you tell me your starting 11, maybe? The one you would like to see and the one you expect to see? Aaron, you want to go first?
I gotta go second here. I gotta
Okay.
think.
Okay,
No, that's not
Karan.
allowed. Okay, I'll start off with with what I would want to go with.
Okay.
With obviously Casillas playing in goal. We'll have Coentrao, Albiol, Ramos, and I know some people will not like it, but Lasana Diarra. And we'll pack the midfield with Marcelo, Pepe and Alonso in the center, and Ronaldo playing on the other flank, and Ozil playing as a false nine, and Benzema up ahead. That way we're packing the midfield up because we have Ozil, Pepe, and Alonso in front of the defense, and Marcelo helps in tracking back as well. So I think this formation would really help us because Coentrao was very decent when called upon in the previous match, and he should retain the left back formation. And I wasn't really impressed with the defense in the last few matches. So if we play Pepe up ahead. He has that the power in midfield that he can actually threaten with his mere presence. He can threaten the Barca attack. So that's what I would expect, the starting 11 to be.
Okay.
And
now we go to Adam.
Yeah. So what I would like to see is probably 3-5-2 with obviously Casillas is going to be our keeper by default. Ramos, Varane, and Albiol, yeah, at back. And then in midfield, you'd have Contrao, Las, Xavi, Pepe. Oh, who am I forgetting? Oh, and Ronaldo. I would put Ronaldo in midfield. I would give him a chance to work a little bit harder because I think that's what's going to endear him to the Bernabeu faithful is his ability to sort of get through his slump with hard work as opposed to pouting and prima donna-ness. And I think that's what Di Stefano was talking about. And then up top, Higuain and Benzema. And I guess I'm leaving out Ozil there, and I don't know if that's a good idea or not. But I guess you could put Ozil in instead of Ronaldo, put Benzema and Ronaldo up top, and then play Lasana as your kind of right wing back and Contrao as your left wing back. So they're kind of midfielders with a defensive orientation. And then that's giving you more bodies, more grit in the midfield. It's giving you width, but it's also giving you some added defensive stability playing with that 3-man center back. What I think we're going to likely see is 4-4-2 would be really interesting, but I don't think we're going to see that. We're going to see a 4-3-3, which is probably going to look a lot like what Karan was talking about, in my estimation.
Oh, okay.
So a roundabout way of saying I agree completely. I just wish it weren't so.
Okay, Karan.
Well, I think might start off with Marcelo as our left back, and obviously Casillas in goal. I mean,
Yeah.
Marcelo as left back with Albiol Ramos in the center and Coentrao as right back, and we'll have Pepe, Larsen, Alonso in the midfield with Ozil, Benzema, and Ronaldo up front. I don't know how
Oh,
they
wait.
managed to do that. I don't know how they managed to do that, but that's what I feel that we're having the starting 11 as.
Okay, that's pretty close to your dream formation, though. That's not exactly, that's pretty close. Yeah. Difference
Yeah.
being Las being in defense or in midfield and Marcelo playing or not. Yeah.
And Coentrao player switching to right back with Marcelo switching to left back. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. All right.
I'm sorry, I was completely lost in thought. I didn't realize your ideal wasn't your expected.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, I mean I agree probably more with your expected than your ideal for what I actually expect. I think.
Yeah, exactly. That I thought you didn't realize that.
I was so busy trying to think up my own ideal. I've been trying to keep my dreaming to a minimum for this match, just because,
It didn't do us
against Barcelona, you got to keep a little bit more, you got to keep your feet on the ground a little bit, especially as of late.
Yeah, a little level-headed approach probably.
Precisely.
Okay. So, do you want to try to guess or make some comments about the type of formation we might see with Barcelona?
I haven't.
Not everybody at once, eh?
I haven't been following them as closely. I've actually been watching their matches, but I haven't been paying attention in the team news. I don't know who's fit and who's not.
Me neither. Hey, I'm not the expert here.
I think they'll probably go with the usual formation. They don't really have a plan B, They've always had like this one formation and everybody slots in the right way. So I don't think so we'll see anything different from them.
Okay.
Well, do you think they're going to have Cesc play up top? Because he's been playing kind of as a center forward at times for them.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't been like how you have not been following their games. Even I haven't been following exactly, but I believe that both Alexis and Cesc will play an important role tomorrow. So yeah, that could be the case.
Okay, we shall see then. That's a sentence I say a lot. We're talking about Alexis and Thesc then. I would like to ask you something about the use of the new signings in both teams. That's a question that has been mentioned by Juan Pablo, who is part of the team too, but maybe you don't know him as much because he's in the background, does the programming and stuff. But he was telling me, that Barca was making very good use of Thesc and Alexis, and that they were key players in the team. They were playing a lot, at least. And so I would like to know your opinion about that and also compare it with the use that we do of our own new signings. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they have a thinner squad than we do because they're more willing to rely on their products coming up through their youth division, which is a whole separate matter unto itself. But it gives them more opportunities for their new signings to kind of have a chance to establish themselves. I mean, when you look at Cesc, they don't have that plan B up top. If Messi's not available to be, the center attacking forward, it's kind of a fight between a bunch of wingers to see who has to play in the center, because they have Pedro, they have Alexis Sanchez, and they have Cuenca. their new kid, and all three of these players are very clearly wingers. Like they can play on the left, on the right, but they play outside. So when Messi isn't available and when Cesc isn't available, like I think it wasn't Real Betis. I think it was the Copa del Rey match they played before that. I can't remember their opposition, but they had those three players up top, and they just looked entirely out of ideas because I mean they could take the ball down the side of the pitch, but then afterwards there was nothing happening in the middle. So unfortunately, I think we're going to have to play against a Barcelona that has a Messi available, unless I'm gravely mistaken. But it's really you kind of have to respect how they've been able to integrate their new signings in.
Okay. Karan?
Yeah, I kind of agree with him because, we've got a different style. They've got like a set system, like a machine that works flawlessly. Not for us. I mean, I wouldn't agree with that, but they have a system that incorporates new players very easily because the fluidity of the game doesn't get affected just by one addition or subtraction. So every newcomer can easily adjust to the game style, to the game plan and everything. But with us, it's more of, it's the entire system is a little different. It's not exactly that fluid as how Barcelona have it, but it's as effective. So it's just two different styles, and I don't really have I have my doubts that it will ever change anytime soon.
Well, the other thing to think about is that they're in the privileged position of making, two signings or so a summer that are actually important signings. Like when we for the past couple of seasons have been bringing in tons of new players and throwing out tons of old players, that there's just so much flux in the system that we're not just trying to fit one player in at a time. We're trying to fit three players in with four players who've never played with them, but play with each other, but haven't played with someone that was on loan that never played for our youth team. So it is a much tougher situation at Madrid when you have the kind of turnover that we do.
Okay.
So it's not just the system that Barcelona runs, it's also the fact that they have less turnover.
Okay, why do you think we have so much turnover then? I know that's something that Javi doesn't like. He's always like, why do we change even, coach? Always changing coach, always changing players, and we lack stability this way. And we're finally having some stability now, but, we're hearing rumors of this player being sold or things like that. It's not, I don't know, it's worrisome, I think.
In my opinion, it comes down to poor leadership. Florentino Perez made a horrible decision during his first tenure to fire Del Bosque, who everyone now identifies as a fantastic coach. At the time, everyone identified as a fantastic coach, but Perez thought he could do better. He could find someone with a little more flair, someone who had a little more personality, someone who fit the Galactico style. And obviously we see, by studying history, that experiment was a failure. But pretty much once we got rid of him, the carousel started, and we just kept going through coaches. Capello won La Liga and then got fired because he played too defensively. Right, his football didn't have enough flair to it. So clearly, Madrid has had some leadership issues, and in between Perez's two terms, there was also Calderon, who was a buffoon of epic proportions, who did very little to stem the tide of this kind of institutional uncertainty. So. And I think just with coaches that happens the same thing with players, and it's magnified by coaches because every coach wants a particular kind of player available to them. So we brought in Loss and Huntlyar, and then got rid of Huntlyar right away because that was for a coach that stayed for, half a year. And we bring in Di Maria and Contral for Mourinho. And if we had gotten rid of Mourinho at the end of last season, I don't know that Di Maria would still be around. So it's really, there needs to be some kind of steadying presence. And unfortunately, we're moving further away from that rather than closer to that. Because I don't know about you, but I'm not convinced that Mourinho is going to be around Madrid for, half a decade. And we've gotten rid of the sporting director position that was supposed to be the kind of person that stayed around for 5-10 years, was around for different coach changes, and had kind of the big picture, the long plan in mind. So the coach was worried about the short term, about getting results, and that was counterbalanced by the sporting director that was looking at the long-term project and making sure that the buys made sense, not just next season, but 3 seasons, 5 seasons, 10 seasons, etc. So, yeah, I mean, that's my answer. It's not really in a nutshell, but
No,
it's
it
there.
was good. It was good. Karan, you agree? You wanna add something?
Yeah, obviously we all know about this, the tenure, and I would agree with him. But like I remember, if I can recollect in the right sense, because we had lost 6-2 to Barcelona, and after that we got Perez in the next season, and he had said that he needs to do 6 years of work in 1 year, and that's why he got so many players. And he wanted to get the system running as soon as possible so that we could be able to challenge Barcelona. But like you say, you always have pros and cons for this. So we might, for some, we might still be the second best team in the world. For us, we might not be satisfied with what we have. There are always pros and cons that you have to weigh out. So you can't really help with that.
Okay.
Well, and the other thing to think about is, the season before that, we won La Liga, right? If I'm remembering correctly. That was our second league title in a row. And this might be purely anecdotal evidence, but I heard a story that after the victory, Calderon, sat down with the senior players, Raul and all them, and asked, what do you guys want? Who should we add to the team? And the senior players were very adamant about maintaining the core of the team and not messing with success. So we went out and we made, very little signings. We stuck with who we had, and we got completely blown out of the water next season by Barcelona. So even when we've attempted to kind of run counter to this buy now, oh yeah, we've got too many players, I guess we'll sell this one for a third of what we paid, a tenth of what we paid, we'll just give them away for free, Dredtha. So even when we try to run counter to that, we still get into trouble. So I guess there's no winning with this game.
Karan, you want to say something?
No, I think we're both reflecting in the same points. I would agree with that.
Okay. All right. So next topic on the list, the so-called Barca mental block. We've been discussing that before. Some people think there is a mental block. Some people think there's not. But I mean, what's clear is that we have all the cards in our hands to win, and then somehow we don't manage to, or we manage to, but in little proportion. So I would like to discuss the attitude problem with you, because last time there was the Clásico in Madrid, some journalists caught Higuaín saying something that maybe is not the right attitude. Apparently he said, I would settle for with a tie. I would be happy with a tie. That was before the game. And so some people are saying, well, this is really shocking. This is not the right attitude. And especially in a Copa game now it's Copa, last time it was Liga, you cannot settle for a tie because it doesn't get you anywhere. Or if it does, it's very dangerous. So, what do you think regarding this statement by Higuaín, and then about the attitude problem at Madrid, if you think there's one? Karan, you want to go first?
I wouldn't really look too much into that matter, but as a personal opinion, that's not exactly the right attitude going ahead. If you look at Casillas and Alonso and some of the senior players, they'll smartly deflect these questions, and it's best that the players don't openly state their personal preferences in front of the media. Probably Higuain made an error out there,
No, he was
but
caught, but he didn't know about it. Yeah, he was. He didn't
okay.
know he was being listened.
Okay, so yeah, that's not right on his part. But with the team, I wouldn't really see the attitude as too much of a problem. I mean, it's a fairly new team. Some issues about having the same kind of enthusiasm may crop up, but I think we're still having a lot of heart and a lot of everything is pretty much in the right proportion going ahead as far as the team is concerned.
All right. Aaron?
This is a tough thing to think about, because we've played them so frequently in the past, and there's been so many times where we've deserved a tie and we've got a loss, we've deserved a win, we've got a tie. So I can understand the boogeyman aspect to it, because football is such a mental sport. It's so much about momentum. It's so much about mentality that it influences the play so heavily. But at the same time, at some point things have got to change. Mourinho has got to find a way to massage the psychology of his team in order to get them to go out there and get a win. We have won against them in this past, smorgasbord of Clásicos, but not nearly enough. They definitely have that feeling of superiority, and their fans have that feeling too. Ugh, I'm sick of hearing it. So I think the mental block is real, but it can't last forever. Just thankfully, it cannot last forever.
Okay.
Unless this turns into another Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and then we're all in a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah, we don't want that. No.
Exactly. But if you think about it, Madrid kind of, is one of those teams that just, we have boogeymen, like Olympique Lyon was a boogeyman for us for so long. AC Milan, boogeyman for us. Bayern Munich, boogeyman for us. Barcelona, now a boogeyman for us. It's just, we're a team that tends to suffer these sorts of mental issues. And maybe it's just because I'm only a true fan of Madrid and I don't really follow other teams enough to pay attention and see if, like Juventus has a team that they always have trouble with. But, it's just, it's part of the plight of being a Madridista, I think.
Okay. You're putting up with it then.
Exactly. Very philosophical about it.
All right. I don't know if you guys read Ankit's piece. I had to read a little quote for you. It's the one entitled "This is not just another game," I think. And he talks about Mourinho always minimizing the importance of games to the press anyway. And so he says, to be honest, this time I don't have any jitters when I think of Barcelona. I don't shudder when I wonder how our Snow Whites will stop the Seven Dwarfs. I think it's safe to say that us Madridistas have reached a saturation point with Barcelona. This is something that I hope is not the case in the dressing room. I will tear my hair out if they claim that this is just another game or some similar hogwash. It's not just another walk in the park, Jose. Your players are not going to put four past Valdez and keep a clean sheet like the average game. Just another game is not how the rival approaches it, and you'd be wrong to tell your players to play that way. So, yeah, because that's Mourinho's behavior always, to say, we are focusing on the Liga, and this is just another game for us. You journalists always make a big deal out of those things, but for us it's just another game. And other people were saying with Barcelona, for Barcelona it's not just another game, it's a very important game. So do you agree with Ankit on this one, and how do you feel about Mourinho's behavior? Is this just a, you know, an external thing for the journalists, but then in the lockers room it's different? What do you think,
Well,
Karan?
look,
Oh, okay, go ahead, Aaron. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Look at what Pep does. Guardiola comes out and says, almost the exact same things. That's what every coach does, is come out and tries to minimize the game to the press, because there's no reason to add external pressure onto your players. And I think it's, very naive to think he's not coming in the locker room and saying something very different to his players. So I think perhaps that's a mentality that is permeating in the locker room, but I don't think that's as a result of Mourinho coming in and saying the same thing to his men in the locker room as he does to the press in the press room or in the press conference room. So it's a problem, but not the way I think Ankit is setting it up as.
Okay. Karan?
I think it's more of Mourinho being his usual self. He always has this dual personality. He'll tell something else to the media, and he's always maintained this, that he always is a brilliant motivator, and these guys are professionals. You can't tell them that, okay, we're saturated of this game. They will never be. They'll love football, and if you're having to play against your eternal rival, no matter what. I know, they might not be having the same enthusiasm to play, against Barcelona, like how Madrid Barcelona matches are. But they are professionals. You can't discount them by saying, they're saturated of a game or something like that. That's when they stop playing football. That's when they're 35 or 36. At this point of time, with such a young team, I don't think so any of them will have a problem like this.
Okay.
I love that. If you're not up for this game, then quit football.
That's sharp.
It can't get any bigger than this. It just can't get any bigger than this.
Well, we'll see this happen in Champions League, and somehow it'll get a little bit bigger in the Copa del Rey clash.
Yeah, probably. But the thing is, we have to keep moving forward. The only thing we have for us is the Copa del Rey right now, and we have to defend that. I think.
I know it.
No, I meant that the match against Barcelona, it can't get any bigger. You can play it in any, whether it's the Copa del Rey, whether it's the Liga, whether it's the Champions League. You're playing against your eternal rival. You have to be motivated, and you will be. And Mourinho is the best man for that. You just can't discount these guys.
Okay, I just would like to read another few lines by Ali. Ali would have liked to be with us today, but he couldn't, so he sent me his comments, and I think it's about Mourinho's approach too, so it's a good fit right now. I just wanted to say that I really can't stress enough just how important these next two Clásicos really are at the moment. True, this is the Copa del Rey and Mourinho doesn't care about it as much as the other competitions, but he should at least make it through this round since it's against our rivals. There are really no excuses at all if you let go of this like we have so many times in the past. Real Madrid need to beat Barcelona over the next two games. We need this. Will it happen? I honestly hope so, but there is too much doubt in my mind right now. Let's just hope and pray for the best, I guess. Okay, so this is not very joyful. Everybody is upset. Right. Okay, so now I would like to ask you how you feel about the Clásico, because it's been we've discussed that right now before we were recording. It's been a constant fight among Madridistas. I am sick of Clásicos. It's lost its peculiarity, and others said no, it's the big rival, as Karan was saying before, and you have to look forward to do it. And I know you guys kind of disagree about that, so I would like to hear your points of view. Who wants to go first?
Aaron?
All right. Yeah. I agree with, I was reading Iker Casillas talking to the press and saying that he feels like they've lost, I'm probably terribly misquoting him in this paraphrase here, but they've lost some of their majesty. They've lost some of their allure by having, 7 Clásicos in a single season. that's part of the Clasico's charm, is that it has this extra bit of intrigue, but when it comes so frequently, the intrigue just isn't there anymore. The teams know each other, and it's just about trading blows and seeing who comes out on top in which game. No matter how terrible we are and how great they are, or vice versa, if we play each other 7 times, there's no way one team is winning all 7 games. So when it happens this frequently, it devolves into kind of a game of chance for me. It's less about the decisive victory and more about we had the luck in this match, but we didn't have the luck in that match. So we progressed in this tournament, but that tournament we didn't. And then the other thing is, especially with the Champions League last year, there was this feeling that whichever team won the match between the two of us was going to win the Champions League. Like Manchester United, I'm sure the English press would strongly disagree with me, but Manchester United never had a chance against Barcelona or Real Madrid. Obviously whoever won the Copa del Rey clash won the Copa del Rey because it was the final. But then the same thing with La Liga. Whoever came out on top in that second Clásico in La Liga really was almost guaranteed to be the winner of the league. So it's really, when it comes down to that, it takes away some of the intrigue of the match when they're just kind of like, all the important matches, all the important cups, the titles, the trophies are going to be decided by chance, by probability.
Okay. We've lost Karan, so I'm gonna finish writing down what I was writing down. I understand your point.
Do we want me to pretend to be Karan?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I disagree with you, Aaron. I think these matches are very important because the Madrid-Barcelona rivalry is one of the biggest ones in sports. I don't know. I'm making stuff up here, but I'm sure. I very much understand the argument that every time these two teams meet, it's going to be important. And, just because they've happened to meet a whole lot, this past season and then again this season, doesn't change the fact that every time these teams meet, it's absolutely a vital match. Like, there's even the Supercopa was a big match. And the Supercopa is, the Supercopa. But,
yeah, I know.
It's still hard not to feel fatigued. Once the match rolls around, I'm sure I will change I'll be singing an entirely different tune. I'll be so excited about this. But in the build up to the match, I haven't been reading all the team news. I, haven't been working up the formations in my head. I haven't been coming up with all the strategies and contingency tactics. I'm going to this game a little bit burned out, but once that whistle blows, I'm sure I'll be sucked right back into it, just as passionate as every Clásico match before this.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna hang up just temporarily so that we can reincorporate Karan, and I call you back right away.
Okay.
Oh, Karan, you here?
Yep.
Oh, you're joining it. I thought I had to call everybody back, but that's cool then. Okay, well, no problem. Don't worry.
Don't worry, I already answered the question for you.
Exactly. I was gonna tell you, Aaron he made an impersonation of you, kinda. But here you go. It's your chance to defend your point of view after listening to what Aaron said about his feelings about so many Clásicos.
I didn't exactly hear what he said, but I'm assuming he said that he's kind of tired with so many El Clásicos. Am I right?
Yes, yeah. For doubt, yes.
Okay, I would like to just add what I had written in my post earlier, that playing each other so often doesn't mean any less fervor or enthusiasm from either the players or the fans. Neither does it mean that the game loses its charm, because every Clásico we've witnessed has given us something different. You know, you'll have the exact same nervousness before these games in the Copa del Rey like you had for the ones before. Like, I'm just as excited about tomorrow's game as I was in the, for the first game when I didn't know that we are going to have 7 Clásicos in the year. So with El Clásicos, I think too much of a good thing isn't too bad.
Okay. That's a nice sentence.
Yeah, no, that's good. You definitely made a better point than I did when I was trying to argue against myself.
Yes, you'd have to listen to that, Karan, and see if you agreed. Okay. Aaron was a bit more, how can you say, vindicative? Can you say that? Maybe? Like more kind of, yeah, no, you cannot say that. Oh, the Clásicos, ta, ta, ta. You were very calm when you
Yeah, I was
yourself.
way more aggressive towards myself in my disagreement with
Yes.
myself.
Okay. All right. So, one of the last questions. Anybody wants to be brave and make a prediction for as far as the score is concerned?
3-2.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you who gets what.
What? No,
I say 3-2, and I'm not going to tell you who scores what.
Okay, well, 3-2 Real Madrid Barca. It's pretty clear to me.
or maybe Barca Madrid.
We're playing at
I'm not
home,
going
so
on record.
We're playing at home, indeed, yes.
So I think it'll be 2-0 for me. 2-0 to Madrid.
Okay. So nobody sees a tie. Because there's a chance also that it is a tie. Yeah.
I'm not inquiring.
Okay, 3-2-2-0. Who scores?
Aaron?
Some Madrid players and some Barcelona players.
Okay. So the ref is not scoring then. Okay.
Yeah. The ref's not scoring. I don't think Mourinho's going to run on the pitch and score a goal. So I don't know. I think Benzema is likely to score a goal, and someone besides Casillas.
Okay. That's
And then I think
okay.
I think Alexis Sanchez is going to score a goal for Barcelona.
Okay. So, Karan,
What
you
about-
have nobody on Barca's side, of course, given your prediction.
Yeah. I go for Benzema and Ronaldo.
Okay. Well, that would be good. Well, if Ronaldo scores in the Clásico, I think he's going to redeem himself quite nicely.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a very good thing.
Okay. Anything else you would like to discuss? Something I've overlooked, maybe? No? Okay. Well, I will end with something. I'm a bit mean-spirited with this. I will allow that. But I've read some quotes about Xavi, Barca's Xavi, I mean, Valdés and Iniesta about the refereeing this season towards them. And I couldn't help but reading into the lines for Xavi's quote, and I made a little translation of it. And he said, I don't know if you've seen that actually, but he said, there are times when the referees harm us. I have a feeling this year they are being more detrimental to us than to others. It's difficult for referees. They have to make quick decisions. But this year it's unfortunate, but they are not helping us. We don't want to complain, but these are the facts. That is what he said. And I'm like, that's like he's admitting that they were helping him. So that's taken out of context, and probably that's not what he meant, but that's what he said. My translation is accurate, so I thought it was really interesting. So yeah, it's unfortunate they are not helping us. I think I'm gonna print this and put it in front of me to give me some courage to work.
You could probably take it to the States.
I'm sorry, what?
You could probably take it to the stadium and have a placard,
That's true. Yeah, we were thinking of going to see the game, but we're not going to go. We're gonna watch it from home, and hopefully everything will go fine. Okay, well, thank you very much, guys, for joining, for commenting. It was really nice long discussion. I think we've covered a lot of topics, and we'll see after tomorrow if your dream or likely formations happened. and the predictions for the scores too. Thank you so much, and thank you everybody for listening, and enjoy the game, everybody. Bye.
Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to both of you guys.
Thank you.
This was a Madridismo.org production.